joining us again today. We're talking about traffic citations once again, and we're focusing today on a dismissal. A dismissal is basically the court's way of saying that they are not going to be moving forward with a citation or a case against a defendant. And people contact our office all the time asking if we can obtain a dismissal of their speeding citation or any other type of citation that they may have received. And boy howdy, I wish I could get a dismissal for every single one of our clients, but I have to be very honest and straightforward that dismissals are only available in certain very limited circumstances. And because of that, we cannot look at a dismissal as being something that is often or readily available as an outcome for our clients. Before we talk about the limitations on obtaining a dismissal, let's talk about a dismissal and what are the benefits of it. Well, a dismissal, as I said, is basically the state saying that they are not going to be moving forward with a citation or a case against the defendant. They're basically saying, listen, we don't have enough evidence, or you've already significantly complied with whatever the requirements of the state were that led to the issuance of this citation. The benefits of a dismissal are threefold. First, when a case is dismissed, it doesn't show up on your driving record. So while there is a notation of that case in the court computer system, it doesn't show up as a negative mark on your driving record. It basically doesn't show up at all on the record. Secondly, there is no insurance consequence for a citation once it has been dismissed. Once the court throws a case out, the insurance companies cannot use that case against you, and thus there is no insurance consequence to a dismissal. Finally, there are no court costs and fines involved when a case is dismissed. If the case is thrown out, there are no court costs assessed, there are no fines assessed, and you don't owe anything to the court. So a dismissal is a really good option or outcome available to our clients in certain circumstances because it does not cause any driving record impact, no insurance impact, and it also doesn't lead to the issuance of any court costs and fines. Now, with those benefits outlined, we have to turn our attention to the fact that dismissals are only obtainable in a very limited set of circumstances. And for the most part, we're looking at a dismissal being an option in what is called a compliance case. Compliance means that there is a certain requirement that the state may have, whether that is that you have to maintain sufficient insurance on your vehicle, that you have to have an updated registration for your vehicle, or that you need to have inspection for your vehicle. Sometimes maybe something like your tires need to be correctly aligned, or they need to have a certain tire depth on them. So when looking at these compliance issues, the state's main goal is just that you get in compliance. They don't really want to take your license because your car registration was out of date by 3 days. What they want to do is make sure you get your registration updated. So if you're able to do that, if you're able to get your registration updated, able to get your car inspected, get your tires checked and fixed. If you need to get new tires, get new tires. If you've got window tint on your car that is illegal, get that window tint removed. And then you come to our office with documentation of that, and then we have ammunition to go to the court and say, listen, our client has complied with the state's requirement in this case, so please dismiss this citation. Oftentimes, a dismissal is something that we can work towards in these compliance cases. But again, it does take the court and the district attorney being willing to allow a dismissal before one can be granted. We can't just simply walk in there and say, hey, dismiss this case. It still is a negotiation process, and we still do have to present evidence to the district attorney in order to be able to get a dismissal of a compliance matter. So it's not just an open and shut case. But that being said, compliance cases are ones where a dismissal is something we would be working towards as our primary option for resolving that citation. Now, again, a lot of people call our office asking about dismissals on moving violations, specifically speeding tickets. Speeding tickets are oftentimes not eligible for a dismissal. And I want to just underscore that. The rule is that a speeding ticket is not going to be dismissed. North Carolina, you're not going to get a dismissal of your speeding ticket. Now, there are 100 counties in North Carolina. There are certain counties where a speeding ticket may be dismissed if certain circumstances are present in that particular case, but it is the exception. It is not the rule. The rule is that speeding citations in North Carolina almost are never dismissed. So that's why we have our attorneys on staff who are so incredibly knowledgeable about these options And the way that these tickets can be resolved, if our attorneys come back to you and say, hey, listen, there's a chance that this speeding ticket can be dismissed, you need to listen to them and follow whatever instructions they provide you on how to obtain a dismissal of that citation. But that being said, if our attorneys come back to you and say, hey, a dismissal is not an option in this case, that's because the rule is that speeding citations are almost never dismissed in North Carolina.